Hey everyone, Couch Investor back to another Tesla weekly video. I hope you're all having a wonderful weekend. Pretty crazy week when it comes to earnings reports. If you look at the Tesla stock price, also quite a roller coaster of a week, but we did finish Thursday and Friday on a more positive note. Now in this video, as you've seen on the thumbnail, I will talk about inventory, why they don't really have that high of an inventory and the issues there are overblown. I'm going to touch on GM and BYD at the end of this video. I'm going to do a full GM video on Sunday. The little positive that there was, but also the big red flags there. BYD, fast growing company, but as you will see, and maybe some of you have already heard, there is some slowdown as well. But we will try and focus on Tesla more in this video. So inventory, South Korea, some India links as well, although in my opinion, they will face some challenges there and I'll explain more in this video. Then Hertz and a taxi company in Dubai electrifying their fleets, why we should see these announcements more and more. All of that in this video. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. Would really appreciate that. If you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. So first up, Hertz now has 50,000 EVs in its fleet. That's roughly 10% of all the rental companies' vehicles. Now, of course, in 2021, there was that announcement of the massive investments in 100,000 Tesla vehicles. Of course, that's not the case currently. And yes, Teslas are not the only electric vehicles that they ordered. 65,000 EVs more from Polestar and 175,000 battery-powered cars for General Motors. Although now that the Chevy Bolt is discontinued, let's see what happens with that order. Now, we're not done yet. Arabia Taxi adds 269 Tesla cars to its cab fleet in Dubai. Those are Tesla Model 3 cars. Now, as reported, Dubai will only permit electrified taxis in the Emirate from 2027. Arabia Taxi operates 6,000 vehicles throughout the United Arab Emirates, 83% of which are hybrid cars. And no, I don't think these will be just exclusive deals with Tesla. I'm sure they'll do some deals with other companies as well. Now, of course, Tesla weekly video without a tweet or tweets from Piloli would not be a Tesla weekly video. So numbers out of China. 10,300 Tesla insured units. As you can see here, we started the quarter with 7,000, then 13,000 and now 10,000, which makes this quarter right now the best start of a quarter ever. Of course, as I said previously, on a year-over-year basis, the comparisons are laughable right now because last year we had barely any insured vehicles. So, of course, on a year-over-year comparison, expect huge numbers there, but I'm pretty sure that most people will focus on the quarter-over-quarter numbers. And if you want to see the annualized stuff, well, right now we're looking pretty good if we continue like this throughout the whole year. Then moving up to South Korea. So Yoon asked Tesla CEO Musk to invest in South Korea. So that's the meeting between Elon Musk and the president of South Korea, where he said, should Tesla decide to invest, we will provide active support in terms of location, workforce, and taxes. Now, some people have already started to speculate on Twitter and on YouTube. Well, they're doing this maybe because of trade deals between South Korea and India, lower taxes on cars being imported there. Let me tell you this. Although India is or has the biggest population on this planet, let's be honest, I don't think the majority of them can afford Tesla vehicles currently. And I'll take it one step further. I don't think their electric grid can afford having a huge electric fleet currently. So maybe this is not to produce cars, but maybe this is for mega packs. I think it would be a more logical move if they start with upgrading their grid. And then after that, then you can start selling big amounts of electric vehicles. That's just my opinion, of course. Do share yours down in the comments below. Moreover, during the same period, Tesla is shaking up its top leadership in South Korea just one day after, the CEO met with the president. So Yvonne Chan, a regional director for Tesla's business in Thailand and Taiwan, and close deputy to Tesla's automotive head Tom Zhu, has added South Korea business to her responsibilities. What does this mean? Is this a tricky move, a power move, whatever? I don't know, so I'm not going to speculate here. Now, we're reaching the part of, well, inventory. How popular is our Tesla cars right now? Tesla Model 3, Tesla Model Y. Do we need to advertise? Don't we need to advertise, etc., etc.? So let's first start with this. Tesla Model 3 and Model Y among 2023 5-year cost to own award winners. Now, what does that mean? Well, many car shoppers would be shocked if they understood that cost of ownership can vary in staggering amounts from one vehicle to the next, potentially to the tune of thousands of dollars over time. This is also why you see Hertz and Arabia Taxi electrifying their fleets. Paying attention to a vehicle's cost of ownership is imperative to make a smart purchase decision. And so, according to the data, Tesla Model Y is selected as the winner in the luxury electric SUV category, and the Tesla Model 3 is selected as a winner in the luxury electric car category. This is an excellent result, confirming that Tesla vehicles are reliable and economical to maintain, which will certainly please consumers. Now, some of you might say, yeah, this is exactly why Tesla should advertise. They should advertise to explain to potential customers why they should be buying a Tesla and not another car. To that I say they should use their social media accounts. As you've seen on this channel, I reposted Sawyer Merritt's, let's say, self-made, fan-made ad. If you haven't watched that, go watch it after this video. But if you can watch it also on his Twitter, it got 100 or more than 100,000 of views. Use social media. Social media is extremely powerful these days. The reach is pretty incredible. I mean, look at the Cybertruck April Fool's video. I'm sure it's reaching close to 80 million views right now. For example, on Twitter as well, Tucker Carlson's video after he got fired by Fox. What is it right now? 70 million views or so? Pretty crazy. And Tesla has millions of followers on social media. So they should use that power. They should use those channels to educate potential customers. And now going to the inventory issue here. So Piloli here says and shows us this. By the way, the green line, this is inventory and the days are here on the right. So previously, as you can clearly see, inventory was pretty high, yet we haven't really heard much criticism about that in the past. Now, if you don't remember, this is from the shareholder deck just 2 years ago. You can see Q1 2019, 30 days global inventory days of supply. Then, of course, it went down, down, down. Now, right now, we're at 15 or so. 15 is not high. 15 is not high at all. Before, people had to wait months for a new car, which again doesn't really make much sense. You would rather have people order their car and get it after a week or two, or maybe magically the same week. I mean, you wouldn't want customers to go on your website, look for a car, maybe buy it, and then see, oh, I have to wait 2 months. I can't wait 2 months. I need a car in the next coming weeks. So, in my opinion, right now, inventory fears are overblown. Now, if you want more information, this is Tesla total new inventory in the United States. Now, of course, Model X listings are still extremely high. Model 3 have been rising, but Model Y have been crashing down. And then Model S, pretty stable, but on their way up as well. Now, as for Model Y, this is crashing down, and Model Y will probably be the best-selling vehicle in 2023, and inventory isn't that high. Now, as for Model 3, you might say, with all the price cuts, shouldn't this really be more appealing to new buyers? To that I say yes. And I might add a little bit more context, or maybe just my speculation, let's call it, as to why people aren't buying as many Model 3 right now. That might be the negative effect of all these leaks we've been having in the last couple of weeks with regards to Project Highland. Maybe people are just waiting, oh, why should I buy a Model 3 right now if there's going to be a new Model 3 with a refreshed look? Could be a good, let's say, excuse. Now, don't get me wrong, Model 3 is extremely popular. Model 3 is the most Google search EV across the globe. And you can clearly see it here. Model 3, number 1, close to 20 million. Number 2 is Kia EV6, close to 16 million. And then Model Y, close to 14 million. So it's not as if people don't know these cars exist. No, they do know they exist, but maybe they also read the rumors of a new model coming out. Could be a refreshed version of this car. Could be. And to continue on that point, to continue and to reinforce that point, according to CarMax, the percentage of searches for electric have doubled year over year in February this year to February in 2022. And if you're seeing it right here, the demand for electric vehicles, or at least the desire to buy an electric vehicle, is pretty high. Now, if you're looking for even more evidence here for Tesla's popularity, well, the most popular EVs and average prices at CarMax, Tesla Model 3 and Model Y, the top two here, and then Tesla Model X and S, also in the top 10, number 7 and number 8. So overall, when it comes to Tesla and the fears, just short-term thinkers, short-term issues. Yes, of course, margins will get hit in the short term, but in the long term, nothing really has changed much. Besides the fact that Tesla's price cuts is hurting the competition, even companies like Mobileye, as we've spoken about in the Intel video. Now, as for GM, just a quick summary there. So non-GAAP earnings per share came in at $2.21, beating consensus by 48 cents. Revenue grew 11.1% year over year to close to $40 billion, and that also beat consensus by $610 million. Now, like I said, they also discontinued, or they will be discontinuing the Chevy Bolt, which is arguably their best-selling EV out there by volume. So removing that, what are you doing? Of course, they're probably losing a ton of money on it. No surprises there. We already seen how much money Ford is losing on their EV business, but at least Ford is admitting that they're losing money on this business. They are being a bit more transparent, in my opinion, than General Motors. Again, video about General Motors and the red flags probably on Sunday. Then when it comes to the real competitor out there, the real competition, BYD. So BYD has grown quite a lot year over year, especially when you look at net profit, huge growth there. But if you look at quarter over quarter, Q4 to Q1, not that good. Q3 to Q1, not good either. And the same story goes here for revenue. Year over year growth, great. Quarter over quarter, not so much. Now, of course, I'll add more context because otherwise people think I'm not fair. Q1 in China, you have the Chinese New Year. So, of course, usually a slower quarter there. And yes, the majority, let's say, of sales for BYD is still in China. Of course, there are some sales outside of China, but the majority of it is in China. Also, the majority of cars sold are not pure EVs, just so you know. Now, last comparison here, if you look at quarter over quarter change, for Tesla, deliveries are up 4.3%, BYD is down 25.6%, revenue for Tesla was also down quarter over quarter 4.1%, but BYD is down 23.1%. As for net income, Tesla down big 28.6%, but BYD down even more 43.5%. Again, solid growth year over year for BYD, actually pretty incredible growth year over year. But if you look at quarter over quarter right now, not the rosiest of pictures. So it's not just a Tesla thing where margins are coming down or quarter over quarter revenue is down as well. No, even their closest competitor is taking a hit. Now, before we conclude, the chart. So on the weekly basis here, you can clearly see that this week we have what they call a bullish hammer candle, where basically the stock was lower, bulls didn't let it go lower, so we finished up, let's call it flat-ish for this week. Now, here, look at this, MACD is still bullish. But if you look on the daily chart, I usually don't care about the daily chart, but just because we have a gap here, just want to show you the gap here. You had a millisecond of being oversold back on Wednesday, but here the MACD is bearish on the daily chart. Maybe if we continue with these green candles, because you see big red candle, then a big green one, followed by another green candle, pretty good. Let's see if we can continue there. Now, why do I show you the daily chart? Because on the daily chart, you can also see that back in January, we had a gap on the way up, which never got filled fully. This drop this week filled it just a little bit, but not fully. Of course, you know the saying, not all gaps do get filled, but most do. So to conclude, short-term investors and traders are always having fun with these roller coaster type of moves. They always complain when the stock is down. even though when you look at the full picture, when you look at the long-term view of the company and also where they're coming from and the results that the company showed a couple of years ago, then you shouldn't really be speaking. The company has more data than us, management. They have a pretty good track record, so I'm not here to complain or say, oh, they don't know what they're doing. I mean, the fact is that they are building something incredible for the future. They've proven everybody wrong for years and years now. If you want to believe money managers who need short-term catalysts to show their customers, if you want to believe them over Tesla's management team, be my guest. I'd rather put my money in Tesla and not in some short-term thinking fund. But of course, that's just me. Do share your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.